Howdy folks, Doc here with Last Best Tool, and you probably know by now that one of my favorite tools is the extra long extension bit holder on the snap-on ratcheting screwdrivers, in particular the little stubby handle. Truly one of my non-negotiables. That's going to be a video topic soon. And you know, I've got them set up on others, including the snap-on adjustable handled ratcheting screwdriver. Just the amount of, I guess, visual real estate you have when you get your hand away from what you're actually doing, it's totally worth it. You know, others, here's a snap-on T-handle, again, very long. Vera's got this one kind of built in with the long flex head. This is the 392. There's actually a 393 that doesn't have this collar, and we're going to talk about those collars. But anyway, there is an option if you don't have the snap-on system, and that is getting one of these foot-long or 12-inch or 30-centimeter long bit holders with the locking collar to hold the, you know, whatever bit you're putting in, keep it nice and snug. Now I've got three of them here. I've got a DeWalt, a Milwaukee, and a Diablo. And there are differences among them, even though they are all 12 inches long. The thinnest is by far the DeWalt, and you can see the thickest is going to be the Diablo with the Milwaukee in the middle. As far as the head size, so I can quickly measure some of these, the Diablo, we're looking at about 9.5 millimeters. We're looking at 8 millimeters for the Milwaukee, and then 7.2 or so, get that straight there, 7.2 for the DeWalt. If we go to the head size, I'm going to go this way probably to the longest. We got about 14.75 millimeters, mixing my fractions and decimals. We got about 15.3 for the Milwaukee, and then about 15.5 for the Diablo. So the Diablo is the biggest. It's also the heaviest. If I weigh these things, obviously this is the lightest at about 100 grams. Milwaukee is about 134 grams. And then the Diablo is, I think, around 165 grams. So it's definitely the heaviest, the thickest, but it also, I think, is the best as far as bit holding. So what I'm going to do, we'll start out with the quick lock, and there are two things to consider. Oh, by the way, there are all sorts of other types of bit holders. There are a lot like this one that, you know, it's just magnetic. When you're getting out this far, it's good to have a lock at the end, and then there are also you know, screw driving bit holders here, and of course different sizes. Here's a couple of Milwaukees that have exactly the same front end on them, just different size shafts. Same with the Diablo. But anyway, I'm going to throw a bit into each one. A couple of things to consider. One is, can you just insert the bit? Can you just stick it in and then it's locked in? Or do you have to pull a collar back? And in the case for all three of these, you can just stick the bit in and it locks on its own. Now let's look at play, and there's two kinds of play. There's kind of like side to side play and up and down play. So here's the DeWalt, center that. So that's how much play is in the DeWalt. Little bit of wiggle. What about the Milwaukee? It's spring-loaded play, but there's that much, and sometimes that can be, you know, like if you're really trying to wedge it in somewhere and there's a bit of a bump, it can cause a little bit of a disorientation versus if this was solid. And then there is the side to side on the Milwaukee. And then here is the Diablo. Yeah, that's right. I can feel a teeny weeny little knock right here. That's it. Otherwise, it is rock solid. Another thing to consider is what you have to do to extract the bit. Do you pull it towards you, or do you push it away? In this case, you pull it towards you on the Diablo. Milwaukee, push it away. Sometimes that's easier one-handed because you can both pull that and then pull the bit out. With the Diablo, you know, pushing and pulling, you can do it. I don't know if you can see that. I have to push this back and pull the bit out. So it's possible, but sometimes going the same way is a little bit easier. And then on the DeWalt, it's also pulling back, just like the Milwaukee. So the next thing is, what about regular bits, regular 1/4 inch bits? So we're going to stick one of those in. Snaps in. You can see it sinks down quite a ways because these are designed for the quick lock. What about the Milwaukee? Snaps down, holds it tight, sticks out a little bit further. And then the DeWalt. Similar to the Milwaukee. So all of these are held in tight, even though it's just a regular bit. And there's the play on the DeWalt. Here's the play on the Milwaukee. Again, that spring-loaded part. Very little side to side. And here's the play on the Diablo. Absolutely none in any direction. If you look at the extension of the bit out of the front, you can see probably the Milwaukee's the biggest or the most, followed by the DeWalt, and then the least is the Diablo. But anyway, I use these all the time. I carry them with me. I have a bunch of different sizes. You can, of course, stack them if you need to. You know, you could create something like that, but you're just introducing even more play. However, sometimes I will have something like this sitting around. You know, if you can see, you get a set of them. You can just go all the way out, and these are all stuck together. So even though it might be a touch wobbly right there, it's plenty long. Now, obviously, these are larger collars if you compare them to the size of the bit. So there is that. I wonder how many of those. Is it about 2? Yeah, it's about 2 bits wide. That can be an issue, a clearance issue. But anyway, there it is. The 12-inch long extensions that basically give that, you know, superpower to something like this. If you are using it with a handle, I find it better to use it with one of these collar or one of the locking handles. So, you know, when you're out that far, there's a lot that can go wrong that far away from the tool. So it's nice that it doesn't just pop out, whether if you know, even stuck it into a PB Swiss or something. Strong magnet, but, you know, it does come out pretty easily. So any of these Veras would be good. I had somebody say I need more Vera on my channel, so here you go. There's more Vera. Anyway, let me know your thoughts, what you use, and if there's another one that I should be looking at besides just these. And with that, Doc out.